Yo, what's going on? The much anticipated Q&A time. Oh, alright. So, put the poll up. You guys answered, so I have to sift through there. Bear with me. And there's some in my DMs too. So we'll just start with the poll ones first and work our way through. So first question is, how do you send the dog so well? Jeez, just a mindset, isn't it? The old send the dog. Just gotta be a mongrel sometimes. Pick and choose some demons and summon them. And then just have a fucking lit environment, lit team, lit coaches. Do you think you'll deadlift more than Geordie at the next Strength Squad Deadlift Championship? Good question, Geordie. I think I definitely will deadlift more than you, mate. Sorry to break the news to you. Your 230 isn't just gonna cut it, mate. So, yeah, probably dust you. Sorry, bro. How long have you been training for, and who's your inspiration? So I started going to the gym when I was 13 with my older brother. And then I guess I kept going because I had to go for rugby as well. And then it's just something I always enjoyed, so I just kept doing it. Even before I got into powerlifting, like a year and a bit ago, I just used to go to the gym. It's good for your mind, good for your health, so recommend it to anyone. It's probably something I will do forever, whether I stick with powerlifting or not. As for who my inspiration is, probably don't really have any at the moment, but I guess two big inspirations I think from when I was younger is probably Greg Plitt was a big one. When I was like sort of 16 to 20, I used to watch a lot of Greg Plitt motivational stuff because he was freaking absolute animal, trained like an animal, best mental out there, just elite. And then the other obvious one, and I feel like if you're an Australian guy who goes to the gym and you say he is never an inspiration at any point, you're a liar, is Ziz, because everyone's got a little bit of sick cunt in them, bruh. Next question, 700 kilo plus total, asked by my coach Wes, of all people. Yeah, I think with states coming up in April, we've had sort of like half year off season now, so I think 700 kilo total is definitely on the cards. If I don't total above 700 kilos, I'll probably be pretty disappointed. So my best total today is 660, which was at the novice comp half a year ago. And then, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with my GBC performance in October with a 632.5 total, which was obviously worse than the last comp. I was hoping for something like 680, but that's all right. That's the sport. That's how it goes. I know what I need to take away from that to then go and improve and working on those things. So 700 kilo total, definitely. Send the dog, we'll get there. Cameron Austin, you're dumpy. Where can I get one of those? Bro, you know the deal. RDLs, hit RDLs, and you will fucking get a dumpy. Damo, your biggest drive to keep sending it. Geez, that's a hard one. I think what probably drives me the most is just always wanting to be the best version of myself. I'm a pretty competitive person in all aspects of my life, so it's no different with powerlifting and training. I always want to do my best and be the best, I guess. And if you don't want to do your best or necessarily be the best, then you should probably fucking look at yourself and send the dog more, to be honest with you. Do you have any specific targets you want to hit? I guess without thinking too far ahead, for this year I'd love to squat 300. That's probably the main goal, I think. Total above 700, squat 300. Bench, probably this year 160 and above. So somewhere between 160 to 170, I think I'd be happy with that. And my deadlift, I'd love to deadlift 270 this year, so let's quickly do the math. So if I squat 300, deadlift 270, bench let's say 165, That's a 735 total, so that would be awesome. So that's the goals for this year. I mean, the squat one's the main one. I should be able to squat 300 kilos this year, so that's a big focus, and total above 700. So just doing the things, coming there on comp day, putting all that work into play, and just executing, which I didn't really do at the last comp, and I know why. Sort of wasn't as serious in the prep as I needed to be, whereas now, leading up to the comp, very serious, just trying to dial everything in, and so then it's not the same as last time. I really don't want to underperform, so taking it a bit more serious and taking myself seriously. Can you share any specific things you've learned that dramatically increased your PB? I think if you're looking to get serious in the gym or get into powerlifting and work on your lifts, first things first, get a good coach. Makes a world of difference. I wouldn't be where I am today without Wes. So get a good coach, number one. Number two, train hard. You still need to train hard. You got to train smart, but you need to train hard. You need to push yourself, because if you don't push yourself, you're not going to progress. I don't care. And look, you need to improve your technique, obviously, because you want to train uninjured. To train uninjured, you got to train smart. You need to have good technique, but you also still need to push yourself. I think a lot of people sort of get caught in the wayside. They sort of just worried about technique and being smart, but you're not going to get stronger still unless you push yourself. You're only going to get so much out of changes and improvement in your technique. So I think, good coach, train hard, train smart. And then I think the biggest one for me as well is just being consistent, showing up, getting to the gym, training. Not every session is going to be a good session. Today I had a freaking terrible squat session. I was supposed to do 6 sets of 4. I did 3 sets of 4 and a set of 3, and it just felt terrible. It just wasn't grooving. But I got in there. I did it. I got it done. I still did all my accessories, RPE8. Got that shit done, because they're not always going to be good sessions. So another one, if you want to get better, you just got to show up no matter what. And everyone's going to have shit days, you're going to have shit time at work, whatever. Just this one thing, like if you want to get good, just consistently go. Show up for yourself, like fuck. If you're going to do it for anyone, do it for yourself. Show up, work hard. So good coach, train hard, train smart, and show up and be consistent. Don't let the bad days get to you. They get to me too, but you just got to brush them off and move on to the next one, because I guarantee the next session will probably be good. Alright, where's these DM ones? Are you taking anything? Nah, I'm all natural. I guess unless you include Zinger Burgers as performance enhancers, I'm all natural, so sorry to disappoint you. What are your thoughts on doing some Zone 1, Zone 2 for your powerlifting training? What on earth are Zone 1 and 2? Let's have a look. Zone 1 alternatively is preserved for recovery and very easy efforts. The primary benefit of Zone 2 is that it builds aerobic base and endurance. Oh, so it's cardio, okay. I am the worst for this, because every block I say I need to do more cardio, I need to be more active, and I do, but I don't do it, but I'm going to. So this is me on camera telling you guys that I'm going to do more cardio. So if you catch me not doing cardio, call me out on that shit. But I think it is important for powerlifting trainings, because when I was leading up to the novice comp where I totaled 660, I was doing the red arrow like 2-3 times a week. I think that's probably not Zone 1 or 2, but is cardio. It's probably more intense. I just noticed, like, when I train and stuff and finish my lifts, that between sets I recover faster from doing that cardio. So it is good. It does have a lot of carryover. Look, I'm not a coach or anything like that, so I can't tell you, but that's just my experience. You should be doing cardio as well, because it's good for your health, it's good for your heart, good for your blood pressure, which is a big thing in strength training. Gotta be careful, so look after your health, do your cardio. Do you have different training belts for different lifts or loads? I don't know. So I have the SBD belt, and it's the only one I use. As for loads and stuff, I don't use my belts for... I don't use a belt and bench at all. Deadlifts, I probably start using a belt when the weight gets above 150, 170 kilos, depending how I'm feeling. Try and warm up without it mostly. And then same for squats. Squats, anything up to 150, I just do beltless generally. And then once I'm above 150 on my working sets, I'll throw my belt on. For those of you who don't know what a belt does, it helps you create intra-abdominal pressure to brace. So it just helps you basically push against it, brace harder, so then your core is really stable and you don't hurt yourself and you're stronger. Can you tell us about your squat routine? I guess it's... I gotta kind of rack my brain because I do it every time and don't have to think about it. But so with squats, I always have my belt on. If I'm not being wrapped, it's easy. Just have your sleeves on. You don't have to worry about wraps. But if I'm getting wrapped, I'll put my belt on before I sit down and get my knees wrapped. And then usually Wes will wrap my knees. So while he's wrapping my knees, I'll put my wrist wraps on. But then if I'm not doing that, and this part is the same. So sleeves, I'll just walk up to the bar, have my belt on, I'll put my wrist wraps on there. And then I get squat routine. The rings on the bar, just always put my middle finger on the rings on the bar as a way of always keeping the same place. And then I push myself in, find the spot where I low bar or high bar, and then just wedge myself under the bar. So I put my feet right under and wedge my hip in. And then I just breathe really deep well, not really deep, but I brace and then unrack the bar. And if I'm in a mono, someone will open the mono, or if I'm walking out, I'll walk it out and hold my brace. And then once that's done, breathe back out, reset my brace, and then squat. It's a pretty simple way of looking at it. Figure out what works for you. Ideal weight to compete at. So I'll probably, I guess, stay in the 110s forever, hopefully. I like being in this weight class. I sort of sit around 112, 113. So it's a nice and easy water cut to make the class as well. So I don't think I'll ever probably... I don't know. I like being at this weight. It's not really a hindrance on life. Like I can move around and get around, it's fine. So I'll probably always stay in the 110s. So I like sitting around that 112, 113, water cut, and then just recomp into comp day. So nice and easy. Do you want powerlifting at the Olympics? And what would that do for the sport? I don't know. I think if you... powerlifting's not really weightlifting in a way. Like there's not the elitism that there is in like weightlifting. I guess there is in like IPF and stuff like that. There's a lot of elitism. But I don't think a crazy amount of people would worry about watching powerlifting if it was at the Olympics. And I guess a lot of the people that watch powerlifting and a lot of the money meets are untested. So a lot of guys are going to be on gear and stuff like that. So if they did put it in the Olympics, it's not really going to be the best powerlifters in the world that have the best totals that people enjoy watching and stuff like that. So I don't know. And for powerlifters, I guess there's already IPF Worlds, which is kind of cemented and stuff like that, like pretty big. So I don't know. Not really phased, I guess, if it makes it to the Olympics or not, and I probably don't think it will. If they're looking at removing Olympic weightlifting from the Olympics, they're probably not going to put powerlifting in, so I don't think that will happen. Go to pre-workout meal. This is a hard one. If I'm training early in the morning, like 5:30, 6 in the morning, I'll just have a banana as I drive to the gym. But if I'm training, say 10 a.m. is pretty regular training time when I'm training with my coach, I would generally have my breakfast at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then before I'd go at 9 o'clock, I'd then have another meal. So sometimes I'll have like rice and bolognese meat. Other times I'll just try and hit something carb heavy because I already had that protein from my breakfast. It's really just depends. And it depends what I have to do as well. If I have to bench, I can generally have a bigger meal closer to, and it's not going to upset my training. Whereas if I have to squat and deadlift, I don't really want like a heavy meal, so banana is good. And then I'll just generally have some pre-workout or Monster. A bit of caffeine is the key one. That's that. Let's move on from that. What's something you use to keep motivated? This is a hard one because I just enjoy training so much, so I guess motivation's not a big thing. A big motivator though is definitely having a comp to work towards. If I'm just training in the off season, I can kind of get caught by the wayside, just sort of going about it casually, just going through the paces and stuff like that, and I'll still train hard and still get my sessions done and everything. But if I have a comp inside, I definitely train harder. I'm more motivated to go train. If I'm feeling like shit and I have to go train, I can switch it on pretty quick and just be like, nah, like fuck that. Like I've got a comp in 3 months. Like get a fucking change of mindset. Who cares if you had a shit day? Get to the gym, throw that shit around, send the dog, as I like to say. And then I think just, it sounds pretty fucking cringe, but like all your past demons, like wanting to be the best person you can be is a big motivator for me. I'm really competitive. I want to be the best and do the best I can. So that's another one. And then I guess just fucking get somewhere. Like I don't like to talk about my long-term goals that much, like what I've got planned for this, but I'd love to become elite, I guess, as well. So that's a big motivator. I know if I don't train hard and train consistently, that's never going to happen. So just got to do the fucking work. It's like anything, isn't it? Got to send the dog. So yeah, let's have a look. What's your strict press PB? I would not have a clue. If I was to take a guess, I'd say like maybe 80 or 90 kilos. I don't know. I'd be interested to know. So Geordie, if you want to do some strict press testing, I'm in, my guy. Let's do it. How many cheat meals do you eat a week? Hey Diljit, fuck you. Fuck, I don't know. I don't really believe in cheat meals. I'm pretty good with my macros usually. Do have something bad, probably 20% of the time I'll track it, but generally I'm having something bad. My adherence to my diet is just shit that day or that week or whatever, which it has been lately. So to mitigate that, I have ordered a bunch of Muscle Chef meals, so they'll come and that'll just help me stick to it a bit easier. Because some days I'll be like, okay, I'm keen to cook everything, cook heaps of meals, and then I'll wake up the next day and be like, fuck, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to cook, I can't be fucked. And then that's where I sort of fall apart. So hopefully by ordering these and having these on hand, that will get rid of that. Days I don't feel like cooking, can eat them, have them frozen. And days I feel like cooking, can cook. And then my adherence, theoretically, should be pretty good. But we'll have to wait and see, because your boy loves a fucking Zinger burger, so. And that looks like that's pretty much all the questions, so I'll wrap it up there. If I missed your question or you want to know more about whatever you asked, just message me on Instagram, whatever. Let me know. I'll respond to you, reply to you. If you want to know more, you know the deal. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. See you on the tripod.